Yo, 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 yo. What's cultivating, my good people? It's your boy Mark Spark. I know I'm back again after a long absence. I know what it is. And I know y'all been wondering where I've been, but of course I've been keeping it cultivating, growing forward, you know what I mean? Getting things in order, revamping how I want to do things over here to keep it cultivating podcast. And of course, building migrant workers as usual. As usual. So I just wanted to say, man, there's a lot of things like that's been going on in the world that I've been really wanting to dive into. And I chose not to because when I had the misunderstanding or the whatever you want to call it with Styles P, when I challenged him to a boxing match, I know people were looking at it like it was some clout shit or like I was clout chasing, but that's not at all what this is. And just being from where I'm from and how I came up, if you felt disrespected, if you felt like anything, then that's the approach that we would take to handle situations. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, to handle situations. So I just wanted to say that I didn't want it to be viewed as some clout chasing shit. I wanted it to be viewed as someone that was trying to get, earn their respect from someone that they felt might have disrespected them. Period. And I don't care if you a legend, because I acknowledge Styles P is a straight up legend. He's one of my favorite rappers. You know what I'm saying? And I'd be lying if I say that he wasn't, you know? So I say that. I just didn't like the way that he dealt with me when we would, you know what I mean, conducting business. I didn't like the way he tried to take advantage. So that was me and my feelings like, yo, you know what I'm saying? And I stand on it. Like if he ever accepted that challenge, I would box him. Period. But I know how it was viewed and I know how it might look like I'm one of them guys from the dirty section of YouTube clout chasing or whatever, and that's just not what it is. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, there's a lot of things that I didn't touch on because I didn't want it to be viewed as such. There's a lot of things going on that I might have wanted to speak on that I didn't because I didn't want it to be viewed as, yo, this dude is trying to clout chase or, he's just another one of these dudes from the dirty section of YouTube trying to get views or whatever. Like, that's not what this is. And I don't care about the YouTube checks because those, like, out of all the checks that I have received, those are probably the least. The YouTube checks do not pay my bills, yo. I'm just saying. So, with that being said, that's also another reason why, unlike some of these other YouTubers, you'll never ever see me do a 2 hour live stream. You'll never see me do a 3 hour live stream. I got too much stuff to do to be up on there for 2 or 3 hours. Like, I can't do it. I'm the type of dude, like, I'll address what needs to be addressed, or I'll talk about the current events that I feel like I want to speak on and get straight to the point and then end the video. Because it's like, I'm not trying to be on there for no 2 and 3 hours. That's out. So, I just wanted to point that out because if anybody's seen my interview with on the Godcast with Lord Jamar, then you know what Keep It Cultivating represents. Like, I represent growth. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I'm not part of the dirty section of YouTube. I don't consider myself to be a part of the dirty section of YouTube. And we're going to continue keeping it cultivating, growing forward. So let's keep it on cultivating. The next topic. There's been discussions all across YouTube, all across people's households about an incident that occurred on the New York City subway system. involving a young man named Jordan Neely. It took everything in me not to speak on this topic. And, this, I guess it was very fitting for this topic to be the topic that kind of brought me out of my hiatus. Because I've been focused on other things. So I haven't really been on YouTube these past, however, so many months. Like, I got content that I didn't even drop. Like I got a fire interview with Tariq Buzz. Shout out to the bro Tariq Buzz, yo. Much love to that brother. Um, yeah, I got a dope interview with Tariq Buzz. I ain't even dropped that. I got footage. I got segments of the Coney Brooks interview that was pretty ill too that I didn't drop. I got a whole bunch of stuff. I just didn't drop it. You know what I mean? And that's the beauty about content because it never gets old. I could drop it a year from now. I could drop it whenever I feel like dropping it. You know what I mean? When I feel like certain things resonate in current society, I might drop it then and be like, check out this interview that I did with such and such from like a year ago that is still relevant today. So when you having real discussions with people, that stuff doesn't age. Only the stuff that people do for the moment, the clout stuff. Like me, I'm like, once again, I'm gonna emphasize this like tenfold. I'm not part of the dirty section of YouTube. So any content that I invest in, securing will be good whenever I decide to drop it. And that's facts. So moving right along. Jordan Neely, man. This topic is a very touchy, like I was talking to one of my peers earlier, and I was saying this is a deep topic, man. Like, because it's deep on different levels. It's not just like, oh, it was some bum in the train station wilding out and he deserved it. Cause I see a lot of people have that like perception or that mentality of this unfortunate situation. And I feel like that's just not, matter of fact, for this one, I'm not even gonna smoke for this video. I am gonna roll something up, however. But I ain't gonna smoke. You know what I'm saying? Cause I really want my thoughts to be clear and I want to articulate this properly. Because the whole dialogue that I've been hearing in regards to this Jordan Neely thing is just so crazy. And I feel like people are really misinformed. And I'm a product of this New York City subway system. You know what I'm saying? I used to take the train all the time. I really don't take the train as much anymore. I don't really be taking the train. But I know how wild it gets in the subway sometimes. And I get that. I get that. I get that. But here's the thing, right? This Jordan Neely thing, it really hit close to home and it kind of really was disturbing to me. It was disturbing on so many levels, right? And I know it's this kid named Joey, right? He's gonna hear me make this video and probably think either Mark has grown tremendously, which, like I said, I represent growth, or Mark is just a hypocrite, right? Because I'm not gonna lie, I done put hands on a homeless person before in the subway. I done put, but even in that situation, me looking back on it, the homeless dude wasn't even in the wrong in that situation with me. When I knocked out the homeless dude in the train station, I was actually in the wrong. But not like on some malicious shit. It was just on some drunk shit. It was my birthday that year. That was a wild birthday. Yeah, and I was drunk and I was like, I ain't even gonna get into it because like thinking about that night is kind of embarrassing. But I'm older and wise enough now to see that, And the only reason why I'm bringing up that story is the way that I viewed that homeless man that I knocked out that night was like, yo, you're homeless, nigga. You ain't worth shit. Like, nobody gives a fuck about you. If I do something to you, nobody ain't gonna care, bro, because you don't even pay taxes. That's how I was looking at this homeless person. And I could look back on it. I could look back on it, and I look at the Jordan Neely situation, and I feel like the same way how I looked at the homeless man that I knocked out that time on my birthday, that's how society looks at Jordan Neely. They look at Jordan Neely like, you're a menace, you're nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that people with mental illness should get away with everything that they do or whatever, but at the same time, if somebody comes and they threaten you, right? And I'm from the Lower East Side. I'm from the Hill, to be exact. Everybody from the Hill, everybody, even people that's not from the Hill, know who Crazy Earl is. You know how many times I done been walking by Crazy Earl and that man threatened me? Would that give me the right to go choke the fuck out of him? I'm just saying, man. Like, you know how many times I walked by the nigga, he threw a slice of pizza. I swear to God. I walked by him one time. I ain't gonna front. I threatened him. I was like, yo, Earl, man, if that shit would have hit me, bro. But that's Earl. You know that he has mental illness, right? So when it comes to a certain point, like, you know that he got mental illness. So therefore, I'm not gonna treat him like I would treat somebody else that I know is perfectly sane. And not just with Earl or with anybody else that has mental illness, right? I feel like when it comes to police officers, people point out that, yo, this is excessive force. This is excessive. Meaning, this is not justified. You're overdoing it. You're going overboard to the point that somebody ended up losing their life. And I feel like just being black in America at times, you feel like our lives is not looked at. And we pay taxes. So we get treated a certain way, second class citizenship. We could get killed by the cops and nobody won't care. But imagine with that homeless man. And it made me feel bad because I thought about, like I said, the time that I knocked out a homeless man in the train station. And I thought about it and I was like, man, this is how I viewed that guy. This is how I viewed him during my ignorant, drunken, whatever you want to call it, you know? This is how I viewed him. So I'm like, this is fucked. This is messed up. Excuse me. I'm trying not to curse. I want to start getting my YouTube checks again. I'm just playing. But it made me feel bad and it made me look in the mirror and see how wrong I was for what I did many years ago. Word. It made me really like see that, damn, I was dead wrong for doing that. Like, you know, and the Jordan Neely thing is crazy because it's almost as if some of the same people that was like on the whole George Floyd bandwagon, and they was like 9 minutes. He had his knee on his neck for 9 minutes, but then you saying this homeless man deserved to get choked for 15 minutes? The knee being on the neck made it feel similar to it made you feel like you were getting choked. But imagine actually getting choked for 15 whole minutes. And it's like, I had to explain to one person today, like, bro, most people pass out after like 5 minutes. So that means for 10 minutes straight, you was choking a lifeless body that wasn't fighting back, that wasn't a threat to you. He was unconscious and you still had him choked out. It's just something wrong with that. And not only that, and not even to play the race card, but me just being a black man and seeing like this white man choking him out like that. And then you got other brothers trying to like justify that. Like, bro, I'm the first person to say, yo, if you see one of these crazy people on the train about to abuse a woman or do something to a woman, step in. Step in doesn't mean go kill the man. The step in doesn't mean go abuse. It's the same thing with the cops, bro. You there to protect and serve. So yeah, you might have to do certain things, but that doesn't mean you should go overboard with it. You know, I don't feel no person should be able to play judge, jury, and execution right there on the scene. Like how do you explain this shit? And I also challenge people like, yo, I challenge y'all to just think about it in reverse. Think about if this was a white man getting choked out by a black man. They would have been like, all right, bro, you subdued him already. What was the excessiveness about? Do you have like a hatred toward white people? That's how they would be looking at you. Like, yo, do you have a hatred toward, you already subdued him, you stopped him from being a threat to anyone. What was the point of still holding on to the chokehold? Even in professional fights, like professional athletes, the ref makes them break the chokehold. Once they see that a person goes limp, when they see that they not fighting back and they raise their hand up, they see he's limp, it's over. You won the match now. So that's the thing I'm trying to explain to people is like, how do we explain this? Like, how can you seriously explain this? And I'm not saying he shouldn't have stepped in, but at the same time, when you look at the facts of what happened with that, homeboy just made threats. He threw shit at people and threatened them. Should that result in him getting choked for 15 minutes, bro? Like, it doesn't, like, and like I said, no disrespect to anybody in the Asian community, but why is it when it's one of us, we desensitized to us? They'll co-sign with the Asian, stop the Asian hate. But when something like this happens to a brother, there's some sort of way to always there's some sort of way to always blame the victim. Cause in that instance, yeah, the person he was harassing was a victim of his harassment, but that's assault, bro. Like they assaulted that man. Like, and I'll give you to sum up what I'm saying to you is like if you see two people fighting, right? You see two people fighting. Now, going in and breaking up the fight and stopping the fight so nobody gets hurt is one thing. And then going in and jumping in and beating the shit out of somebody is something totally different. And that's the whole thing. When you say somebody got to do something, that doesn't necessarily mean you got to go inflict harm on somebody. Sometimes it just means intervening. You just should intervene so that, because that's all sometimes some of these crazy people, that's all they need is somebody that they know is physically strong enough to stop them, come in and be like, hey, man, you need to fall back. And then, you know what I mean? But people be getting it really twisted. Like intervening and like abusing somebody is something totally different. That's the same thing we be trying to explain to all these cops that be brutalizing us, is that protecting and serving is one thing, but going overboard and abusing people is a whole nother thing. Like, that's abuse. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's abuse, bro. Like, that's somebody that, and I don't know the person that choked them out, but from the way it looked to me, that's somebody that probably been wanting to do that to a black person for a long time. Cause it's like, bro, why was you still choking him? Why? Like, you know what I mean? Like, at some point you would have been like, all right, let me get this dude off me. I'm gonna try to get back up to my feet. Why did you why? Like, and black people, why are some of y'all trying to defend this? Yeah, I know that the trains, the subway system been crazy. There been violence and all of that. But I also know that this is a deep topic. There's people down there suffering from mental illness. I know people that I grew up with that was normal kids, end up losing their parents or whatever, end up homeless out in them streets. And them people is not the same mentally. They lost all their marbles. So before you just count these people off or push these people to the side and be like, oh, they just some crazy bum. Think about, were they always crazy like this? Or did these people experience some type of abuse or something that happened to them while they've been out there on them streets? Because it's dangerous out there. And they experience a lot of things. And I normally don't dive into a lot about myself, but there was a point in time where I was in the shelter before. You know what I mean? When I was around those kind of people. So that's why, like, for me, this hits kind of close to home in a different, not that I could relate to Jordan Neely, but maybe I can because I do music. I know other rappers that go in the train station and perform. They go in the train station and they perform just like Jordan Neely did. I got a whole interview with Phil Flames talking about how he used to hit up the subway, which is one of my top interviews. You know what I mean? So I'll say that to say, like, yeah, I say that to say, Phil Flames even opened my eyes to certain things. It was just like, bro, when you think about, like, just the things these people living on the streets might endure or experience. Some of those people be going days without even eating. The Snickers commercial used to tell us what? You're not yourself when you're hungry, right? If I recall right, according to the documents that I was reading about this particular story, it said that his harassment, he was wilding because he was hungry. He was wilding out saying that, yo, he gonna eat something even if he have to kill somebody. Let me say that again, right? For the people that might not have gotten it the first time. This man was on the train basically spazzing out because he probably hadn't eaten in days. And he was saying he was so hungry to the point that he would be ready to kill somebody so that he could eat something, bro. This is how, yo, this is how desensitized we've become to black people, bro. And you know what's crazy? I never give homeless people money, but I always feed them. That's facts. 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 There's homeless people that if they seen this video, they'd be like, oh yeah, homie bought me pizza. He buy me pizza all the time. Facts. Like I always, so it's like this really bothered me. Like, I'm not gonna stay on here mad long and drag this out. I wanted to really get to the point. You know what I mean? I'm about to roll an L but I ain't gonna smoke on this video. You just gonna see me roll some of this kosher kush up. Some of this kosher kush, you know what I'm saying? It's good. Yeah. But nah, for real though, like yeah, it's fire. It's fire. It's fire. Can y'all see that? Y'all see that? Fires. Woo! 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 Nah, but yeah, man. I'm not gonna drag it out. I'm not gonna drag it out. I really wanted to talk about this topic because it's like how are we more concerned with like the Asians and everybody else, but we desensitized to our own? There's no way homeboy should have got choked for 15 minutes. The crazy thing is everybody's worried about people intervening when the homeless people be wilding out. But after the homeless man wilded out, and then we had this New York City style, George Zimmerman style vigilante put his hands on another black person. Who was there to intervene with that and tell him, all right, man, this is a bit much now. Let that man go, yo. Serious shit. Like, you about to kill this man. Let him go, bro. You know what I mean? That's enough. Where, who was there? Like, real shit. Everybody always talking about them. And like I said, I get it. Some of these homeless people be wilding out. They be bug outs. Some of these homeless people be straight up bug outs. I get it. But, and it's the same thing with the cops. Like, who's there to tell them, like, yo, you know, this is enough. Like, you're ODing, you about to kill this person. Seriously. And I feel like we in a time where, and it goes back into like something I was saying about how I don't consider myself to be part of the dirty section of YouTube. But there's a lot of people that have no problem being in the dirty section of YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like, in fact, there's people that probably strive to be in that part of the YouTube, because the dirty section, you'll probably make some money there. You know what I'm saying? You'll get attention, and the attention will generate dollars. And I think that's all some people are worried about. And it's like, once you've seen at least six figures in your life, money becomes like not everything. Once you start seeing like those type of checks, like six-figure checks and all that type of shit, then it becomes not about the money anymore. Seriously, like at that point, it's like, yo, only people that don't have money idolize money on over everything. The people that have money, they talking about their health, they talking about spending time with their loved ones and stuff like that. Like, they not worried about the money. And I say that to say, some of y'all will do anything for money. Some of y'all will co-sign anybody that you think have money. You know what I'm saying? And I've been seeing that with certain things, but I'm not going to speak on it. I'm not going to speak on that. But I feel that people co-sign folks that they think have money. You know what I'm saying? No matter how right or wrong those individuals may be, people going to still co-sign people they think got money. And I don't know why. Like, you think they going to give you some of their money? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? You think you going to get some of the money? Like, I don't get it. Like, I do not get it. But what I will say is, it's all about growth, man. And if you've made mistakes in life, everybody deserves a chance to grow and learn from it. Not like get killed on the spot because somebody feels that they have the right to play judge, jury, and executioner. No, we've all made mistakes. We've all probably done some things that could have gotten us killed before. And if you haven't, then you probably wasn't outside like I was. You know what I mean? Or like some of my viewers are or was. You know what I'm saying? But anybody that's been involved with anything at any point in your life knows that, yo, you probably did some things that could have got you killed. So who are we to judge and say that man deserved to die? Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. But let that have been anybody but a black man. Let that have been an Asian man. Homeboy would have got charged immediately with a hate crime. Immediately. Like, why are you touching this Asian man for? Why is it that we looked at like that? Like if we do anything wrong, we supposed to be protected by a constitution that says that we are actually innocent until proven guilty in the court of law, not in your eyes when you feel like, oh, I see you doing this. No, I have a right to have a trial by a jury of my peers, not by you thinking because you're a vigilante. That's some George Zimmerman shit. That's some George Zimmerman shit. Like, you feel like you're the law and you can take the law into your hands. That's some George Zimmerman shit. If anything, they were supposed to subdue that man until the cops came so that they could call an ambulance and have the ambulance take that man away. That's what was supposed to happen. This man wasn't supposed to jump up and put hands on him and fucking choke him out. Like, come on, man. And I'm just tired of sitting back hearing people say that shit. I'm tired of sitting back hearing people say that. Like if it was justified. Like, nah, bro. Nah, he had a right to what is it called? Due process. Even though he's mentally ill and was probably acting batshit crazy. You know what else is crazy about this? I actually used to see Homeboy's performance. I used to see him do his little Michael Jackson thing when I would be taking the A train up to Dykeman. Shout out to my peoples in Dykeman. You heard? Shout out to my Dominicans uptown. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, I used to see this. That's why that shit kind of bothered me, because I'm like, yo, I used to see him, and then I would see son when he wasn't. You could tell he haven't eaten in a few days. I would see this nigga. That's why I'm like, wait a minute. When they said the Michael Jackson impersonator, I'm like, the black dude? I'm like, yo, I used to see. Yo, that shit is crazy. Like, and it's crazy because I would see him wilding out at times, but all them times that I would see him wilding, it was because he didn't eat, yo. That's facts. Like, facts. So I don't know, man. Like, I ain't trying to be like act like I'm a saint or anything of that extent. But I think if you black and this didn't bother you seeing this white man choke this man out like that, and then you got other brothers helping him choke him out, when in realness, they should have been saying, all right, he's no longer a threat. Clearly, he's clearly no longer a threat. Let that man go. Let him go. You know what I'm saying? Period. But that's the world we live in. If you black, even if you're a victim of a crime, it's gonna be your fault. You know what I'm saying? Cause although he committed a crime, his crime was harassment. His crime, the dude that died, his crime was harassment. He was harassing people. Does that give you a right to choke this man for 15 minutes, y'all? And if y'all feel that way, then you shouldn't feel no kind of way about George Floyd. Let's just be for real. Like, if you feel like these kind of tactics being used on people is okay, then you shouldn't feel no kind of way about the George Floyd thing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the same. If anything, this is worse. 9 minutes to 15 minutes. 15 is half of a half. 15 minutes is half of a half hour. You know what I'm saying? That's half of a half hour. You know what I'm saying? That's like a quarter of an hour. Like, come on, like how is this okay? How do we explain these things? And like I said, only when it's black people. Let that have been anybody else, bro. Until like they see some kind of uprising, they not even gonna press charges. Facts. Like anytime something like this happens, they never press charges until they start to feel like a civil unrest. Till they feel like niggas is about to burn shit down. You know what I'm saying? Like when they feel like that, like yo, they about to burn the city down. And then on top of that, the country's in like a financial crisis. The dollar's collapsing, so all these places can't afford to staff all these police if people do wild out. And it's sad that it takes that. That's why when people be like, oh, look at these people looting. Yeah, this is what it takes. You see, look at this instance as an example. No charges ain't being pressed. Everything is very calm and civil. But I bet you if people would have been tearing up the city, I bet you if people would have been running up in Macy's, running up in Saks, destroying shit, they would have been like, yo, they would have got pushed back from them businesses. Like, yo, y'all got to do something. It's sad, yo. And I just want to be clear on this. I don't want nobody to take this as I'm giving you an invitation to go out there and act foolishly. Because I'm not. Not at all. But I'm just saying, I see the difference. Like, I could differentiate with the George Floyd thing, why they pursue charges. And in this instance, why they not pursuing charges. It's not because homeboy didn't do anything that should result in him being brought up on charges. It's because this man is a homeless man and he doesn't have that support that George Floyd had. This man is a homeless man that he's not just a homeless man, but he's a homeless man with mental illness. So people don't give a damn about him. And it's sad. It's sad to say that, but it's the truth. It's because he's homeless and he doesn't have like that. You know what I mean? George Floyd had his family there, which his family garnered a bunch of support from the public. This man is homeless, deemed to be a menace to society because he has mental illness. So he's not going to have that support. And as we can see, but I would never, ever in my life be okay watching a white man kill a black man when it could have been avoided. You know what I'm saying? I'll never be okay with that. Like, I'll never be okay sitting there, no matter what this person did, if you had an opportunity to subdue him without, like, taking his life, and you chose not to, you chose to, like, just keep strangling him, even when you could clearly see he was lifeless. You know? it's just really disgusting and it's sad. It's really sad. And that's why when people do be looting and doing all that shit, you never hear me saying, yo, these people are wrong. No. If anything, I say bring that shit to Midtown though. Don't do it to Poppy in the bodega. Don't do it to the people that actually in our communities that really been holding us down and all that, like feeding us and all that. Nah, don't do it to them. Go to Target. Nah, I shouldn't even say that because I own stocks in Target. But you get my drift. Like, go to them stores that, you know what I'm saying? It'll make a difference. Cause them stores hold prestige. You know what I mean? Them stores are investors to these campaigns. You understand? Like, them stores be in business with these politicians. So once them stores, and I'm not gonna say them stores, but the people that own them stores, once they say like, yo, if you're not doing something about what's going on in our establishment, we're gonna make sure everybody in our network don't vote for you. We're gonna make sure that everybody in our network votes for your opponent. So, and I know people don't like to hear about politics and all that, but see, this is where, as a people, we need to start leveraging stuff because they want you to vote for them and all that, and then stuff like this is happening. We don't feel safe. We don't feel like anything is done. We don't feel like nothing's done to help them homeless people that have mental illness so that they not out in the street wilding out on the rest of us. And you don't care. Like, they don't care about us. So, I'm going to end this video just saying, man, before you go judge that man that lost his life, just understand that he lost his life and, he needed help. Homeboy needed help. You know what I mean? He ain't have people around him to help him. And not just to help him, but to steer him, to make him realize that he's a danger to himself and others and could put himself in a potentially dangerous, life-threatening situation like what happened because he has mental illness and he's living on the streets. But it's just sad. Rest in peace to Jordan Neely. Hopefully somebody in the system, whether they see this video or not, like, hopefully somebody does the right thing and there should be some charges brought up, man. Even if he's not facing life or whatever, he still should be. And I'm not one of them people that's gonna be like, oh, I'll never wish jail on nobody. Fuck that. I'm almost 40 years old. Some of you niggas deserve to be in jail, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, like, I'm trying to raise kids out here, so I don't care. Like, I don't give a fuck, like, about none of that. Like you do certain things, some of you niggas deserve to go to jail. Period. So I'm gonna end that with that. But we just need a lot of reform in this country with the way just all of the relations. I'm glad that y'all helped the Asian community and y'all seen that they was under attack. But now, since we have shown that we can help different communities when they're under attack, we need to do something to help Black folks. And I'm not talking about the system. I'm talking about us helping ourselves, because the reality is nobody cares about us. A lot of people don't even like us, and some of us don't even like ourselves. But this particular story, it just touched me. And maybe because I used to see some performing on the train when I used to take the train, you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, rest in peace to him. Rest in peace to Jordan Neely. And yeah, there's not much to be said. Like, everybody, I've been telling y'all gotta keep your head on a swivel. We living in crazy times. There's crazy things going on. So, and also, if you see something like that going on, it's okay to tell a guy, yo, you can let him go now. If you see something going on, it's okay to intervene. You don't have to necessarily get violent. Intervention doesn't necessarily mean that you got to go hurt somebody. So I just wanted to point that out. And, it is what it is. I'm about to go smoke this L because, this is my first L of the day, Cinco de Mayo, the Keep It Cultivating edition. Mark Spark, migrant workers, keep it cultivating, growing forward. Peace.